Thursday sees the start of the 2026 edition of the Franchise Association of South Africa conference in Boksburg, Ekhurhuleni. The annual conference and exhibition brings together entrepreneurs, franchisors, funders, SETAs, policymakers and service providers to address the practical realities of growing franchise businesses. FASA CEO Fred Makgato joins us now for more. Fred, good evening. Thank you so much for your time. Really do appreciate it. Franchising has been seen as somewhat of a secure business practice and business structure for those who want to enter the market as an entrepreneur in a small and medium enterprise. But the barriers to entry are oftentimes quite exorbitant and quite high, and often requires quite a lot from those who want to enter, particularly those from disadvantaged backgrounds who don't have the necessary collateral to access the sort of capital that will enable them to buy into a franchise. Is there any progress that's being made, rather, in ensuring that the barriers are being democratized, so to speak, to make it a fairer industry to enter, given that it's responsible for a lot of employment in South Africa as a sector?
I think when I joined the association, I also felt the same way, that the barrier to entry are too high. But when you understand the dynamics, then you realize that, in fact, there are no barriers. One, the industry is cash intensive, in that you need to invest lots of money to be able to run a successful business, especially when you plug in a reputable brand that was built over years by somebody who put in all their lives into the business. Two, I think that you need to invest your money in order to work the business. But what we have seen over the years is that having realized that we have entrepreneurs that want to get into the system, but due to an uncovered cash issue, they are unable to. But what we have also realized that this uncovered part, it comes in as a secure mechanism of ensuring that an entrepreneur invests in the business. We have had historical knowledge and understanding that those that got into businesses earlier, when they didn't have to invest anything, so the majority of them, they abandoned the business when they realized the kind of work that is to go into making a business succeed. So what we have done is to create environment for entrepreneurs to get into the system. One, with the collaboration that we have with our members, especially the major banks. They have ESD development programs. We have our SETAs that also have enterprise development programs. And I think we also have what we call developmental franchise programs, where we have businesses that are at the developmental stage that are willing to upscale their businesses to be franchisable, to undergo training, mentorship, coaching, to achieve the upscaling of their businesses. So I think it's a two-pronged approach.
Yeah. Now, are banks more flexible today than they have been in the past in terms of the financing instruments that they are making available to entrepreneurs who want to come into the sector, particularly those who don't have the sort of traditional financial backing and collateral? For instance, putting up your pension fund as collateral, remortgaging your home as collateral, or putting up your securities and assets as some form of collateral to be able to access the sort of capital to be able to get into a franchise. Are there more innovative ways in which they are considering entering this? Are there combinations of debt and equity that perhaps is considered rather than just 100% debt? And do you have other financing partners who specifically come in as grant partners, particularly for those who come from previously disadvantaged backgrounds or who come from currently disproportionately disadvantaged backgrounds who might want to get into the space, but who, for instance, a 10% grant fund may go a long way for? Are there conversations about mixing these different financial support instruments to make it a lot easier for those to get in, who want to get into the space to get into it?
Yes, there are those kind of opportunities. We see where franchisors now have what we call equity into a franchisee business, where a franchisor, because now they believe in a particular franchisee, they say, as a business, we are willing to invest either 50% of our money into your venture. So now you find that the franchisee has less financial burden. But we are also having a partnership with SETFA, used to be SEDA, and CIFA, where we have a collaborative efforts of trying to identify previously disadvantaged entrepreneurs who wants to get into a space. There are grants which also are dual in terms of loans. You have a grant and a loan, and the interest rates sometimes are deferred in order to give a particular entrepreneur opportunity to grow within the business. There are those opportunities, but I think that what we need is to engage more with entrepreneurs. Hence,
Yeah.
we have the conference to say, let's come into one room and talk about opportunities that exist. Come, let's see the challenges that entrepreneurs are facing out there.
Yeah. Look, and then, of course, on the other side of the spectrum are franchise businesses who aren't always giving the requisite support or the promised support to those who buy into the franchise. And, of course, taking high management fees and taking auxiliary and ancillary fees from the business that weren't previously necessarily discussed or completely understood and explained in a way that was fair and transparent. Those sort of squabbles always exist in the franchising space. As an industry body, I'm sure you're applying your mind to how that can be better managed. Are your members becoming a lot more transparent and open to some form of self-governance and regulations by the industry?
This is my 4th year at FASA. And as you know, that our role is to enforce ethical business practices. Our members are aware of the ethics code. They are aware of the Consumer Protection Act and its regulations. So our members, I can assure you, they abide by the code. See, since I joined FASA, I don't think we have dealt with one of those kind of issues. And that is why we encourage entrepreneurs that when they invest in franchise businesses, they must first check if that particular business is a member of FASA. Our members understand the ethics that binds their conscience, that they are compelled to perform fair business practices, that they are clear. Because remember, when you become a member, you provide us with your franchise agreement, you provide us with your disclosure document, you provide us with your operations manual that you are going to use to engage the franchisees in attracting franchisees to invest in your business. So there's no way in which we have underhandedness with our members. That I can assure you.
Sure. Yeah, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much, Fred, for your time this evening. Really do appreciate it. Fred Makgato is the Chief Executive Officer of the Franchise Association of South Africa.